we've got to, I don't want to say get Cesium out of the way, but we still have a match ahead of us.
I mean, really, anything can happen. I don't want to write it off.
Vote now.
But we haven't really seen any enormous holes in Rafa's play. Cesium, I would say, aiming-wise, he's not quite
Vote passed.
where he'd want to be. Did we get maps list, the order, by the way? I see we're going over to ZTN.
So are they still playing StarCraft 2?
There we go. ZTN, I don't care. ZTN, DM13, Hectic, T4, and Dismemberment as a potential tiebreaker. ZTN, DM13, and Hectic. Interesting. What do you think, choice-wise, about these maps? Rafa would have picked first, I believe.
Nothing too surprising there. I mean, DM13 and Hectic are about as polar opposites as far as maps can get. ZTN sitting nicely in the middle there. I don't know. I mean, it seems kind of standard. I don't think there's any real surprises at this point.
Yeah.
As far as maps go.
As far as strengths go, I like ZTN and DM13.
I might be a little bit sad not to see Rafa Cesium playing Arrowwalk, but that's about my only opinion on it.
Right. But on the other hand, I mean, I kind of feel like, I don't know, DM13, hopefully Cesium can shine a bit there. But the way that Rafa plays that, he's so comfortable in and out of control. It's ridiculous. He can work on both. Actually, let's see. Okay, on both ZTN and DM13, Rafa is kind of the king usually of crossing the map and collecting the yellows whenever he's out of control, and he does it in such a stealthy way that all of a sudden he has a monstrous stack. You haven't done any damage against him, and you know, everything falls apart. So it looks like just Cesium waiting to press F3, and then we'll be underway with the second semifinals of the Intel Extreme Masters Season 5. This is it right now. The LAN happening in New York at Comic-Con. And we are live. Rafa at the spawn, red armor, shotgun, and doubling back for a plasma gun, and the armor therein. Cesium picking up rockets and lightning gun, sharding up, and of course has Mega right off the spawn.
And I do wonder how much play there is going to be for the second pickup of Rocket Launcher. Cesium is set up here for Red Armor. Though he's a little bit early, he's telegraphed his position, so Rafa is going to be blaring out the lightning gun by the time he's already in the room. Cesium down at 50 health, Rafa down at 37, but he's picked up armor along the way. And now back in the Rocket Launcher room, Cesium doing a very good job of keeping the pressure on, keeping Rafa away from that all-important weapon. But Rafa's getting away here with an immense stack. Cesium picking up Mega is going to be very, very nicely put together for this next fight, but it's going to come down to the trap at Rocket Launcher.
Yeah, I mean, I'm liking the control. He hears Rafa's approach and starts to rain down the hellfire, but it does not connect well enough. TCM has to back off. The trade for health and armor there might have been a little bit too severe, and Rafa has his in. As you can see from the scoreboard, he is playing himself. And Rafa, of course, timing Mega without even getting it. Very solid play there. And he's going to go up strong. He does miss the mid-air rocket, but he's going to follow up with LG. And with the reload on the rail being what it is, that's an easy free kill. Very little damage done against Rafa. And you know, here, this is not the situation that Cesium wants to find himself a minute and a half in, because Rafa is about to scoop up nearly everything, and the only thing that's going to be sort of a saving grace is that potentially Red and Mega will come up and be scooped up, split between the two, but not when this fight breaks out.
Jumping up to the top there. It was an interesting weapon choice for Cesium to go from rocket launcher to plasma gun instead of switching over to a lightning gun, which he did have.
Yeah, but I love the timing of that fight that Rafa picked, basically forcing a frag right when Red and Mega are about to spawn, and you know, making sure that he would be the victor of said spoils.
Nice.
Really, really nice play.
2 bits
that
of free
5?
splash here. CZM is able to perform very nicely while not taking too much damage. But again, Rafa's LG here is going to be right on the money. In fact, taking a look here, we're looking at 32% lightning gun accuracy. Rafa heading back over here across the map, picking up more ammo for it. Still several seconds before anything comes up. We see about a 10-second separation between Red Armor and Mega Health. So Rafa has some time here to kind of scope things out, look for CZM, and try to do some damage. But CZM, being all times ninja, is going to be getting away here with quite a bit of yellow armor and a hefty amount of weapons as well. I got to hand it to him. CZM has been able to stay hidden for a significant amount of time, and this might be able to give him a way back into Mega if he has timing for it. If nothing else, he's going to be spamming out some nades, keeping himself safe, and creating some extra distance to stack back up on yellow. Rafa, though, has something else in mind, coming back in through the lightning gun corner in order to make a push here for Red Armor. CZM, maybe a little bit flustered at that, is going to be dropping down, not willing to stick around for that fight. Wants to do some damage, though.
Ooh, Rafa misread.
Wow.
And CZM circled back around for the red armor. So that's probably the first maybe mistake that we've seen. Rafa really thought that he had CZM on the run, but he never materialized at the designated coordinates. And that, of course, you know, having that red. Mega, though, will remain in Rafa's hands easily. Rafa now trying to make sure CZM can't get a double RA. And is able to successfully defend against that. CZM now needing to defend against the onslaught from Rafa, and gets away with only a mere 20 armor, starting up to 45, but very weak here. Rafa now using that opportunity to steal the yellow armor that was over near the plasma gun. Still up by 3. Rafa's still sitting pretty, and I don't think we're going to see another timing mistake out of Rafa. I don't think he's going to misread CZM again.
And unfortunately for CZM, he was not able to capitalize on that mistake and move directly from Red Armor to someplace where Rafa was going to be in a very tight situation. Unfortunately, though, CZM still down by 3 frags. He's been able to stack up very nicely, but as slow as this match has been, Rafa has shown very, very, very little situation where he's actually on the weak end of things. CZM, 1 rocket left. Rafa apparently heard the click, or at least had some precognition of it, and switches immediately away to lightning gun, taking down CZM. The immediate response there was absolutely thrilling.
Yeah, I mean that's Rafa.
I wasn't gonna say it.
This is Rafa? Yeah. Oh my goodness. So CZM took a tour of the portion of the map that most players try to avoid for the entirety of it. And he left a souvenir. His corpse.
And some ammo. Let's not shortchange the guy. But 5 minutes left here. We've got this thing already halfway burned off. Rafa has been able to run around for the past 30 seconds or so with the full 200 stack. And it is at that point that you really have to have some concern for CZM's play here. It's a bit of a wait out. CZM trying to see if he can sneak back out and get some damage on Rafa as he makes a play for Red Armor. But Rafa gets the first rail in. CZM has to back off. He has a little choice here.
Yeah, Rafa was looking right at CZM as he tiptoed into the lower railgun room.
Very nice.
And Rafa
you saw him glance at yellow armor as well, to saying, I'm going to save that for later. I'm going to bait that out. And it only took a second for CZM to come by and really kind of spring that up. So Rafa is starting to get a bit more sneaky here, a bit more cheeky, but that also means much more dangerous.
Yeah, and with a 5 frag lead, I mean, you know, hey, quite frankly, like I said, if we see Rafa versus Dehang, a little bit of a rematch from last year, I'm okay with that. Of course, I really feel like Dehang has to, I don't know. I think Dehang will have his work cut out for him if we get to that point in the finals. How much practice can he get in between now and then? That's my question.
That's a very good question indeed. But this is, of course, you know, a best-of-5 series. Rafa was maybe just graciously saying, you know, if this goes to 5 maps, it could take a bit of time. Do we really anticipate 5 maps here? I mean, this is not just a close victory that we saw between Dehang and Vu, but rather a decisive one on ZTN, which is, you know, a map that has a lot of history behind it. It's not like CZM coming from CPM has a real disadvantage here. Now, the fact that there isn't going to be any arrow walk is maybe something that I'm sure CZM is going to be missing, but with the other maps in mind, I'm wondering how much of a chance CZM has during some of these. Now, to be fair, CZM has definitely been practicing a lot of these other maps and has been picking himself quite nicely. I remember the first qualifier cup we saw with him, you could tell that arrow walk was like his claim to fame and everything else kind of fell off to the wayside, but you can immediately see that he's been preparing very diligently for this.
I mean, Rafa, he's had almost impeccable control. Anytime, like here, CCM finally gets an item, Rafa lines it up with the LG and burns, you know, a good maybe 20-30% of it off before CCM can even, you know, do anything with it. So, we're gonna watch from CCM's point of view. He's got the frags to make up and a minute and a half left to do it. That's a tall order on ZTN, where, of course, we've seen on the Blood Run, you can run and run and run and run. They were, you know, CCN was not joking when he named them. A double entendres as well.
As they should, but final minute here, and even though it's only a 5-frag lead for Rafa, I mean, it is such a decisive one. There have been very, very little times when Rafa is not controlling everything, and even when he's not, he's still nailing in a lot of really nice hits. He's still performing a lot of nice movement, and he's able to soak back up to health, get back up to 100 very effectively. CZM coming back in for that rail. You can see that Rafa was not anticipating that. Unfortunately, he didn't make the hit connect, and that is going to be detrimental to him, to say the very least.
Yeah, at this point it's kind of a game-sealing deal. You know, 5 or, you know, maybe even 6 of CCM leaves behind the red armor. There we go. 5 will probably be the final score of this matchup. Nice little nade left in the wake. CCM not willing to risk it. Doesn't chase. So, yeah, take a look at some accuracies. 27% lightning gun, 26% rail. We've got the final fight breaking out here. And it will be the end of CZM as we know it. Over on Rafa's point of view, he's got 33% lightning gun, 29% railgun, and very solid dominance of the map nearly every step of the way. You know, nothing quite a lockdown, but really great stuff. So, that is map number 1. Done and done. And, of course, we're going to head over to, was it Dismemberment? Was that it?
No, that's going to be map number 5 if it comes down to that.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
DM13.
That's right. Now, I think what Rafa said earlier was, if someone wins this early, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, then we'll go ahead and play all 5 maps. So, that's what he wants to do, and we will stick it out if that is the case. We have gone live on Lost World. Yeah. And CZM, not going to be able to survive Rafa's onslaught of rockets. Very solid dismemberment, if you will, with those shots. And wow, that's a rocket to the face. Oh, switching it up to a machine gun for the kill. Let's go take a look at Rafa's point of view. Getting very nice spawn fraggage. And even CZM yet to pick up a lightning gun. Ouch. Not good.
If that little clip were on a demo reel, that would be a good time to flash up the brand of whatever Rafa's headphones are. I mean, very, very good picking up of that audio cue, and perfect reaction to it as well. That's a point that CZM during the Blood Run maybe it wasn't quite obvious. Here it will be a bit more. If he's not picking up on those cues, if he's not making sure that he's aware of where Rafa is and where Rafa's coming from, that'll definitely be a point against him, or several, as Rafa is already up 2-0. Only 1 minute off the clock. Rafa heading back up to the top of the map is going to be looking for CZM coming up to the top, and oh my god, here's CZM trying to shove his way into the Mega Health. I'm not sure if CZM knew that he was going to be back in there, but the damage was potentially very great in CZM's favor. Unfortunately, Rafa is going to be able to duck on back over to Mega Health and not take too much damage in the meantime.
Yeah, perfect dodge of the spam rockets on red armor.